had problems.
Okay, you ready?
Mhm.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to our first podcast, Akashic Resources, our first podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Golbahar.
And together we're Akashic Resources. That is our business. And Akasha means
Sky.
primary substance, mind substance, and also like the ethereal. And resources, we have resources, right? We want to use our resources. So Akashic Resources is helping people to tap into the power of their minds to be happier, healthier, and more successful. So we do that through a variety of things.
Yes, we do that through Akashic readings. Like you said, we do them through spiritual mind retreats where we focus on, typically we'll do a reading and then we will have other activities that go on during the retreat. We do that through our classes. We have a lot of online classes that we teach. Coaching, am I missing anything? Dream interpretation,
workshops.
Yeah.
We like to do booths. We like to get on other people's podcasts. We're on somebody else's podcast coming up in a couple of weeks. That's going to be lots of fun. And next month we're going to be on another one. So
we're both very the reason that we're starting this podcast, I think whoever knows us can say this very easily, that we both like to talk. And when I say that, we have a lot to say, and we have a lot to offer. We've learned a lot throughout the years. We've been teaching since 2000. Well, Brian, since 2000.
We met at a metaphysical school, and we were part of that very intense training for 9 years.
Mm-hmm. And so we've been teaching for
16 years.
Well, saying you started in 2008 and I started in 2009.
16 years.
So anyway, with that, we thought, well, there's all these topics out there that we want to talk about and we want to explore with you and teach on very, very specific metaphysical concepts and practices that can support you, that can also help us explore them. Another thing that we do is what is called questions for the universe, which is something that we created a few years back. And that's an open where you ask from the Akasha, we ask universal questions. So nothing individual, but universal. And those have been very powerful sessions.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we'll have those sessions and then people get excited, but then we don't really go deeper into them. So we really want to take some of the knowledge from those questions for the universe and break them open, look at them, discuss them, understand them on an even deeper level, and apply them here on this podcast with you.
And tackle some of the subjects that you guys ask about. We get calls all the time. I've got 2 calls this week from people just wanting advice, wanting guidance, because life can be kind of exciting. So our questions for the universe is kind of like an Abraham Hicks event, if you're familiar with that, because it's all very universal. And then our personal readings are more like Edgar Cayce style. So we were trained by some people who studied Edgar Cayce in the 60s and 70s and figured out how to do the readings like Edgar Cayce did. And then they taught people, and we were taught by some of those people. So it's pretty cool. So.
Yeah. And I think the readings are kind of like the base or where everything starts from for us. And when we started doing readings when we were in the school, and then when we left the school, we just kind of thought we would just not be doing readings. It was just like, okay. But then we just had these people reach out to us that would say, hey, can you do a reading for me? You did a reading for me in the past. And so we were like, sure, let's do it. And then it just kind of had a mind.
Word of mouth. So
really
people had positive experiences, and they would reach out and say, hey, a friend of mine got a reading from you guys. So we've now done somewhere around 3,000 readings. I'm not 100% sure, but we have 2,000. I have 2,000 readings on this phone. So that's, I know. And that. Yeah,
I was going to say, and then for a couple of years, that's what we did. We just did readings. And then a lot of the readings would say, this one should learn meditation. This one should learn visualization. And then people go, well, how do I do those things? Right. And we're like, we don't know. We don't teach it anymore. And not that we don't know. We knew people and stuff, but we didn't have a program that we could offer. Right. And so we put something together, and it's definitely a work in progress. And the overall vision that we have is this beautiful expansive school online and in person,
Mm.
where people learn these skills of using their minds productively, living happy, successful, healthy lives,
Community.
and really reaching their full potential,
Mhm.
and then being able to, if they want to or they choose to, step into teaching and step into those opportunities to pass what they know. Because what we learned, and I think a lot of other people can attest to, is what you teach, you go deeper with, and it's actually very fulfilling. It's the most favorite thing. The brightest part of my day is when I can support someone and teach them something that I know.
Yeah.
And also for me, when I learn from someone, that's the brightest part of my day.
Yeah, connecting with other people. So building an online community, building an in-person community. We're really looking for sustainable community, some land, and actually have some Zoom calls with some investors and that are looking at putting together one of these communities physically. So our journey is our soul journey is one of an ever increasing reality. As we receive from the universe, we're learning and growing and adding to ourselves. And this journey is a beautiful thing. And as we awaken to that expanded reality, we start to understand that we're not victims of chance. Everything happens for a reason, and it happens for our benefit. Tony Robbins says that the universe doesn't happen to you, the universe happens for you. And when we step into that, our lives change incredibly. So that greater, instead of thinking that it's all random chance, there's a reason, there's a point, and there's a purpose, and we add to ourselves. So there's things like universal laws, and these are above natural law. So gravity is a natural law, but guess what? When we leave this planet, gravity is different, because natural laws change. But universal laws like infinity, evolution,
Prosperity and abundance,
all the law of attraction, probably the most popular one. All of these universal laws are actually how things work. And as we align with these universal laws, guess what? Our life starts to look very, very differently. So we teach conscious mind skills like concentration, attention, memory. We also teach how to get into your subconscious mind and develop that through intuition, meditation, dream work, even learning how to read the Akashic records. We have advanced classes where we can teach people how to do that as well.
And I wanted to say, it stimulated me when you said the journey. And I think we all can say this, especially in the past couple of years, that being in the physical world can at times be very intense. Being in a physical body is more intense, I think, than when you're in the inner levels. And navigating life and its challenges can either be very fulfilling and empowering and exciting. You can be doing a lot of amazing things, or it can be extremely difficult and challenging, and it's both. And it's never, there's not one person that I know, and if they say this to you, I don't think they're being honest, where they can say their life is perfect every day, they're happy, and there's just nothing is wrong and everything's going perfectly. It's just not the way it is. It shouldn't be that way. If it was that way, we'd be super bored and we'd never come back to this planet.
And we wouldn't learn anything.
We would just
we wouldn't be expanded, right?
Right. So because of that, I think one of the tenets of metaphysics and what I've taken to heart is learning how to learn, that we're here to learn, to understand, to add to ourselves. When we look at it from that lens, like Brian was saying, the universe doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And the for you, the way that you can respond to the for you is by looking at it from, what is this thing that's happening for me, teaching me? What can I learn? How can I evolve? How can I go to the next step? Because the truth is that it's always helping you to get to the next step because of the law of evolution. It's always doing that, but we don't always know how to think that way.
Right.
And this is the base, the most, not the most important thing that we teach, but the basis of what we teach is yours is the mind in control. And how can you concentrate your mind, develop your mind, your attention in such a way that you can do that? Because it's a training. You have to train your mind. We don't just come out of the womb knowing. Some people do.
Unfortunately, right. So
I mean, ideally, we're trying to teach our kids to maybe do that earlier. But the human condition is one of the brain is a habitual organ, so it habituates to whatever happens in your life. So
Right.
the work that you do with your mind helps to manage that and really reach your full potential. And
Yeah.
the most successful people in the world have used metaphysical principles, whether they
Whether
say
they
it or not,
whether
know
they
it or
know
not.
it, right?
Yeah.
You're either aligning with universal law or not, but you don't have to know about universal law to align with it. And there's lots of great holy books and lots of great authors and successful people that are describing the process of aligning with universal law without describing the universal law. And that works. It works because you're aligning with universal law. I had a teacher who described it one time as the present moment is a present. Here's your present. So what do? We usually react, right? When we get,
You have the receipt.
you open the mail and you get an unexpected bill, for thousands of dollars, or we react to the present. And I said to him, at the time, I said, well, if that's true, does it have a gift receipt? Because I'm thinking it's the wrong color, it's the wrong size. I did not order this. I do not want this. And that's the way we react to the present moment. But instead of that, if we can remember that life is about learning, that everything happens for a reason, happens for a benefit, then we start to ask curiously. And a lot of times I have some colorful language in, okay, well, if everything happens for a reason, then why the blankety, 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 blank did this happen right now? And that's where it starts. And you start to ask yourself, okay, well, what are the possibilities of this moment? What is the most productive choice that I could make? Is there some things that I could learn and practice by making certain choices in the moment that would expand me? Now, I'm going to get personal, and we're going to get personal on this podcast because that's Goldhar and I are real. We're real. We don't hide. We don't, no fancy lights, no makeup. So I need to learn compassion, gentleness, softness,
Empathy,
receptivity, empathy,
listening.
Right. There's a lot, right? You can ask people and they'll tell you what I need to learn. So when I have these situations that occur, I go to that list. Wow. Is there a way I could be more compassionate right now? Is there a way I could be more gentle right now and expand myself and know myself in another way, develop these characteristics that I know and a lot of other people know that I need to develop? So when I start to ask those questions, now the situation looks differently to me. Oh, this is a situation for learning and growth.
Yep.
So like, your kids are accelerated learning, right? So patience is something I'm still working on. I've made a lot of progress, but man, kids, right? I mean, they will really test your patience. And I've been pretty good about recognizing the opportunity in that. And I've changed, and I'm an older father, which gives me a little bit more perspective, sometimes on being able to be that gentle, soft forgiveness. But when we start to look at life differently in the moment, and then now we're taking charge, we're taking control. And something I'd like to introduce right now is this journey to health, happiness, fulfillment, love, etc., is one of personal responsibility. I'll throw it over to you.
I love that. You're going to give me personal.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about this.
I do. First of all, I would say that's one of the things that I've benefited from being with you for all these years and learning alongside with you, is that the way that you approach life is from that perspective of, okay, you were taught life is for learning, personal responsibility, thought is cause, and then you just, okay, these are the rules and let me apply these. And so you have, and I notice the difference sometimes getting personal is sometimes I don't want to do that. I want to be not responsible for my experience. And I've learned from you that it's easier and better when you go, okay, what's my learning? How can I change? Like, it's just much better. So this topic of responsibility, I feel very passionate about. I'm very glad you brought it up, because I was actually lying awake last night thinking about this, because there's a lot happening on our planet right now where there's a lot of this extreme polarization
and blame
on people from both sides,
all sides,
there's not even two sides anymore. There's so many sides. And it's always looking outside of the self, blaming the government or blaming another person or blaming Brian or, whatever. And I think Jim Rohn says it so well. I don't remember his quoting, but I didn't get it when I listened to it. And now I'm understanding. It's like, you're blaming all these things, but really it doesn't do anything, because responsibility is freedom. When the ability to respond is much better than trying to get someone else to be a certain way so that you can be happier, whether that's a governmental organization or a person or a husband or a child, right? It doesn't ever work, does it? Has it ever worked?
The truth is that you can't control anything outside of yourself. And the only thing you can control is your mind. And most of us have spent a lifetime of trying to control other people. You can read books about how to manage people, how to control other people, but it's not that popular to learn how to control your mind. And the fact is, research shows we have 12 to 20,000 thoughts a day. And if you're not aware of all of those thoughts, you're not in control of your mind. And that means you've got work to do.
And with that, I think the most influential people in the world that have made positive impact, I'll say that, if you really pay attention, they're very responsible for their own thoughts, their actions, their emotions. And that is the freedom that, to me, it's like, I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 5. And so I look at things from a different lens, even though I've lived here my whole life and I consider myself an American, but I have so much.
And you are.
And I am. I'm a legal citizen as well. Yeah. But I also have so much gratitude, because this is still the land of opportunity, even with everything happening. And it is the land of freedom. Everyone else, I think Reagan said this, or I don't remember who said it, is that people come to America to become free. Like they come here for freedom, and we still have that. But the freedom is not necessarily in the policies and it's really in the freedom of thought, the freedom of speech that we all still have. So because of that, we have so much opportunity. And these principles were actually there was a book that we read. Can't remember the name of the book.
Secret Destiny of America.
Secret Destiny of America. We'll maybe do a whole podcast topic on that.
Oh yeah.
The
amazing.
Founding fathers used these metaphysical principles to really set up the foundation. So it's like really amazing that aligning with learning these skills is aligning with the actual essence of what the country offers. And if you're in a different country listening to this, it's still these
principles are universal, and you can apply them to yourself wherever you live. An interesting thing just to throw in here is that, so people that come to America from communist countries or countries that are very, very controlled, but though they have a unique experience that I've had explained to me by several people. And in some of these countries, like in Russia, Poland, in particular, people told me they have a safety net. So you can't really go too low. You'll always have a place to live, and you'll always have something to eat. And you come to it, but you can't rise up. There's no movement upward. It's very, very difficult. Well, in America, it's the exact opposite. You have freedom, which is what? Responsibility. So the safety net is lower. So you can go down, but the up is unlimited in America. So for people that want the freedom, that want and embrace the responsibility, the sky's the limit, because you see a ladder that you can climb. But one of the scary things for people that come from these types of countries is that there's not quite the safety net in America that you get in these other places. So it comes down to you of, what are you going to do with this freedom? What are you going to do with your responsibility? And
just the caveat, wherever you live, there's benefits. And, it's like, I can say that about Iran. Even with Iran, there's benefits to living in Iran,
and you're not a victim. Your soul chose
wherever you are,
to be born.
Whatever country
your soul chose your parents. Your soul chose your country of origin. Your soul chose your astrology. And that makes a lot of sense, because some of these babies, right? They're early. Some of these babies are late. Right? We don't control that stuff. Another thing we don't control, right?
Yeah, that's another. So what I'm hearing in our talk is that these are all great topics. But what we wanted to, do you have anything else that you want to put into the?
Wow. So that's, the whole journey of personal responsibility is, like I said, it creates the freedom. So my experience.
Why did you say, wow?
Well,
So
because
excited.
so much, yeah, so much. So a little bit of my personal journey. So I was a home builder, and I had a voice in my head that said you should do yoga. I started doing yoga. I started to have experiences I could not explain. And after 9 months of these, I wandered into a metaphysical school for a free movie night and had a full-blown awakening, which I realized there was no thing as a coincidence, and that everything happened for a reason. And I was there because I was supposed to be there. So I signed up for these classes, and I started doing these attention, concentration exercises, meditation exercises, started getting these readings. And within 30 days, my insomnia went away, my migraine headaches went away. My
gray hair went
allergies,
away.
well,
It
my
came
gray
back
my
after
gray
you had
hair went
kids.
away for 7 years. I don't know if it started in the first 30 days or not, but after 6 months, I knew my gray hair was pretty much gone.
That's
And I was 43 at the time. It came back when I was about 50, after we started dating.
Oh, I was
I'm
gonna
about
say
say,
after you had kids.
well,
what I need.
it accelerated after we had kids too. But then within 60 days, I stopped taking my allergy medication. I had taken allergy medication for 19 years. And then at the 6-month mark, I cured myself of gout with the help of a teacher, with the help of a book called Permanent Healing. I identified the thoughts that were causing my gout. I was able to change those thoughts, and my gout went away in 3 weeks. And I have been daily medication free for all of those things for 16 years now. I don't have gout. I don't have anxiety. I don't have insomnia. It's been a wonderful, and you talk about freedom, the freedom from those illnesses, diseases, freedom from having to take the medication. But where did the freedom come from? It came from the responsibility. I was doing these daily exercises, 10-minute concentration exercise, doing attention exercises, using my breath to bring me to the present moment, so that I wasn't thinking about the past, and I wasn't worried about the future. I was in the present moment, and I became happier.
Your thoughts. I will say,
Yeah.
it wasn't as like that for me, but it had its own. For me, it was more, I was also drawn to the school from a variety of different things that happened in my synchronicities. One of them was my dad asking me to go to learn healing so I could heal him. So it's just, that's another topic. But I will say, for me, when I look back now, it's been however many years, I don't even know, because I'm 41 now. I was 20 something when I started, and so quite young. I couldn't imagine my life without knowing these things, because it has been a continual progress from, I was very much suffering. That's just the truth. I was suffering. I was depressed. I was anxious. I didn't know myself. I didn't like myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I had a job, and that was good. I mean, I was always good financially, but I was very unhappy, and it wasn't like I started the school and then boom, I was so happy and everything was perfect. But it was this layer, like the onion, gradual. And today, most days I wake up and I can feel a sense of contentment in myself that's real. And it's not because of anything in my life. It's not because of the amazing life that I have been able to create. It's really from an inner core place. And everyone deserves to experience that and has the opportunity to experience that, no matter what you're going through. Earlier this year, we went through some very difficult things. And we came out of it because of the tools that we had, stronger, better, more evolved, all of these things. So I think, anything else that you want to discuss?
Oh, so many things. So yeah, you can take charge. I guess that's the number one thing. Everything that we do revolves around empowering you to take charge of your life, to be the captain of your ship, to make your dreams come true. And we empower people through these different techniques of teaching you in class, a personal reading that gives you literally step by step, do this, don't do that, stop doing this, don't eat that, eat this, all these different things. You get homework. A reading gives you homework. Workshops, retreats, everything is designed around teaching you how to tap into your inner guidance, how to listen, how to listen to yourself, how to connect with your body, how to connect with these different levels, how to become a master of all levels of mind, so that you can create the life that you desire. So this podcast is
And
going to
live
be
happily along the way. as you're doing that.
yeah, and have fun, for
Yeah,
God's sakes.
have
I mean,
fun.
it's
We
all,
sometimes forget to have fun too, so.
well, but relaxation
forget.
is something. If you're a relaxation teacher, come and help us with
Help
that,
us
because
relax.
we just, I
That
don't know,
is
we
right.
love to
That
share,
is
we
right.
love to give, and I feel really fulfilled when I do that.
So one other thing I want to say before we wrap up is we'd love to hear from you as far as what topics you want to learn about.
Yeah.
We have a list, an ongoing list, but at the same time, if there's something we said today or something that you're just like, how do I apply the law of prosperity and abundance? I know about the law, but I don't know how to apply it, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Definitely message us, email, put it in the chat box, whatever. And we'll just continue to we want to like co-create with you.
Yeah, we want to serve you. So you tell us what your needs are, and we've created entire classes based around
on people.
right. The spiritual teacher class and the spiritual teacher reading came from someone's request, as how can I be a better spiritual teacher? So if you have a need, if you have a desire, contact us. We can craft a custom reading. We can put together a special coaching package. We can do all kinds of stuff to help you get what you want.
And
so
tune in every Friday.
yeah,
right?
we're gonna
doing
post, we're gonna put this on YouTube every Friday. So our YouTube channel is Akashic Resources, and we've got a lot of individual questions and answer clips from past questions for the universe, and we're going to be adding these podcasts to this channel. So stay tuned, and let us know if there's anything we can do for you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.